Well, the biggest hurdle is that you see the potential and everybody else making money with notes or supposedly making money with notes. And you want to be that guy tomorrow, next month, in 6 months, and it doesn't happen like that. It is going back already to it's a business. And most businesses fail. 7 out of 10 businesses fail, any business, in the first year of their business, whether it's a restaurant, a gym, I don't know, a beauty shop, a storefront, you're starting an online business. I mean, most businesses fail in the first year. And this is just like any other business. If you don't attack it and think of it as a business, you're not going to last long as a business. We're not talking about just buying a note here and there for as an investment in your IRA and stuff. We're talking about running it as business. And I think a lot of people, when they get into the business, they think they're going to be successful in 6 months, in a year, and they don't give it enough time to really ramp it up and build your business and grow your business. And that's a huge hurdle I think people need to get out over, is that do I just want to dilly-dally in this, or am I going to have an actual business and one day hopefully quit my job?
Right. And nothing ever moves as fast as you'd like it to.
Never.
And you just got to understand that and be okay with it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it takes time, and since 1991, are there things I do differently now than I did then? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Right. I'm not as tech savvy as you guys, but for instance, I didn't really start using Excel spreadsheets till about the divorce, 2011. So
I have an email that I just saw recently that said exactly that, which I was like, whoa, right?
Yeah, so that made me more efficient and things like that. But but I still use, hey, come on, don't diss the calculator, man. Right? I can't pull a spreadsheet up when I'm out on the boat and someone asks me about a mortgage. I can pull up the app on my phone, right?
This is true. This is true. And I think the difference between the calculator itself and the spreadsheet is that we get a tape of assets that comes in, right? Of 50 assets. To run 50 assets on a calculator would take some time.
Oh, absolutely.
You can use a formula and go right down the sheet and say, okay, here's my number. So yes, and there's certain things that spreadsheets actually struggle with the calculator. I'll be going into that eventually. They don't do points, right? It's not 34.38, it's 34 payments. It doesn't do, it rounds it off. And there's ways to avoid that. But for some people, that calculator gets overwhelming, right? And what they do is they just avoid it instead of working with it and understanding it.
Oh, it's people watching this in the future and stuff. HP 10B2 calculator. I teach it. It's the calculator to use. I have a whole calculator secrets book with 120 plus examples and practice things in it. It is so simple. It's 5 buttons. That's it, guys. Don't be afraid of the calculator. I do usually one at a time from individuals, one note at a time. And you're right, when there's a lot more, when I get a tape in or something like that, you got to use the Excel spreadsheet. You're not running it through, or another program called T-Value I use a lot of. And so yeah, with the numbers, I mean, we could talk about numbers all day long, but yeah.
So you hear all about this, bank originated loans that we all pretty much came off of, right? This is what we did in 2010, and most of the people in the space did a lot of origination loans, where you were in a different track, right? You did the seller finance world, where getting inventory, you're not getting a 500 tape asset list, right? You're putting in work to get asset lists.
Yeah. When did you guys start? What year?
2010.
2010. Yeah.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
So before the crash, there's not a lot of tapes around, you guys, right? There weren't, and you're talking about, we all deal with banks. Well, we all don't. I don't, deal with banks. We do if they come across us, and if someone comes across us, we're happy to deal with banks. But there's a difference. If I could share my screen a second, let me show you the difference between different types of notes. Is that okay?
One second. Open.
All right. I'll hit the little button here. Tell me when.
You should be good.
Okay, boom. And then I'm going to pick, I made a few documents here.
Yeah, perfect.
so that we can see this. So, oh, wrong one. We're talking about notes. We'll get to that one in a minute. Here it is. Okay, there's 3 types of notes. Here they are. This is it. A conventional note, a bank, mortgage company gives someone a loan. It's a debt instrument created when a bank or mortgage company finances the sale of real estate, right? Most people understand that. You want to buy a property, you go get a loan from somewhere. That is a conventional note, okay?
And
Then you have
right
a private
now,
mortgage note. Maybe the person can't get a bank loan, can't fit in that box, which is getting tighter and tighter these days, right? And then there's private mortgage notes. So an individual investor, maybe a real estate investor, but an individual investor will fund the loan to purchase the house. So the person's taking money out of their pocket, 100% providing the loan for the person to buy the property. That's a private mortgage note, a debt instrument created when an individual, not a bank, finances the sale of real estate. Then we have what's called a purchase money mortgage. This is a debt instrument.
Right now we're not seeing that screen, Jeff. We're just looking at we've got value-based investing versus speculation. That's the one we see right now.
What? What? I'm showing this one. This is my screen.
Are you sharing a screen or
yeah, it says I'm sharing my screen.
Correct. You may be sharing a a tab or window.
How about I stop and then I'll share again. Let's see if it works now. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem.
Boom and boom. Now?
There it is.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did a conventional note, bank note, private mortgage note, individual, a person giving a loan, right, for someone. And then a purchase money mortgage note, a debt instrument, note and mortgage, note and deed of trust, sometimes a recordable land contract, carried back by the seller of their property to facilitate the sale of their own property, a seller finance note. That's the whole key. A seller of their own property, selling their own property, carrying back the note on the property they own. That is a seller finance note. And the differences between them are as follows. You can have, when a conventional or private note loan is given, they have to follow all of these rules and more. There's a loan application, references are asked for, they run your credit, there's income requirements, right? Debt to income ratios, lending guidelines, employment, LTV regulations, truth in lending, and all these different things. When a seller sells their property and carries back a note, none of that is applicable. None of that is applicable. So if I buy a conventional or private note, guess what happens? I have to follow all those same rules and requirements. If I buy a seller finance note, there's no regulations.
Right.
So we'll go one more. When you purchase a conventional or private note, you have to follow all the regulations that they do when they gave the loan, just as if you gave the loan yourself, including the collection regulations. When you buy a seller finance note, a purchase money mortgage, the regulations lenders follow do not apply as defined and discussed in a class that I do. I have a little home study course, and this is on day one. We call it, it's called a holder in due course. There is a technical legal term for it. It's called a holder in due course. It's as if I sold the property myself and carried back the note myself. I become that person. So it's the same with a conventional or private note. If you buy a note from a bank or a mortgage company or a private individual that gave a loan, it's as if you gave the loan and you have to follow those regulations. When I buy a seller finance note, it's as if I sold the home and carried back the note myself, so I don't have to follow those regulations. Okay, so that's the differences between what you guys normally do, which is go after bank loans and tapes and mortgage company loans, and what I do, which is go after the individually held first position performing seller finance notes.